Hello there, this is Jenny from Designs with Paper. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I have a really short video, card making video for you, so get comfy and let's get crafty. I have this piece of pattern paper that was created with alcohol ink on yupo paper. I have a piece of white cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and a piece of yellow cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11. I will also be using this Altenew stamp set. It's a labels stamp set, and the honeybee stamps hexagon dies. So my plan is to create kind of an abstract pattern of hexagons on the white cardstock with the patterned paper yupo stuff, so that the die I want to use needs to fit this panel of the card. And I started with the third largest and the third smallest, sorry, and decided it was just a hair too big, so I will be using this second to the smallest hexagon die from this set. This yupo paper was a paper that I made a while ago when I was kind of practicing with my alcohol inks. And I made some cards and other things with that. And I will link those below or at the end of the video. But here I have cut out a whole bunch of hexagons. I think I cut 8 or 10 hexagons out. I am trying to get mostly the gold and the yellow colors. I do have some of the purple and a little bit of the orange and red. And I'm just kind of laying these down in a pattern. I'm trying really hard to ignore the voice in my head that says, create a specific pattern. I'm trying to keep it organic. I'm trying to keep it asymmetrical. My brain doesn't always work that way. I love how that looks when other people do it, but my brain does not drive on that road. I don't know. I want to use the happy birthday sentiment from this label stamp set, and I want to stamp it right on the front panel of that card. So one thing I need to be aware of is how big that stamp actually is. And this is when I realized, oh shoot, I think I've got ahead of myself there. So now I had to figure out how I was going to do that. And instead of just taking out one hexagon, I took out all of them and started over. It would have gone with my brainchild, my thought pattern a little more to just remove that one, but no, I had to remove them all. So, and here's the funny part. I did not cut 2 hexagons out directly together on purpose because I didn't want to try and match them up on the paper. And yet my brain is still trying to match up these ink colors. I just don't even know, you guys. My brain sometimes is my worst enemy. So now I have this pattern going straight up the left side of the page. It doesn't quite fit the stamp. I'm struggling a little bit with my left and right sided brains. I have more hexagons. I have them. I must use them. You know, all of the thoughts. You know, I cut out all of these shapes. I need to use all of these shapes. I need to make a symmetrical pattern. No, you don't need to make a symmetrical pattern. It was all just kind of a crazy thing going on in my brain. So once I finally have a pattern I think that both sides of my brain can live with, I am going to pull out my cling wrap and pick up those die cut shapes with the cling wrap. Not cling wrap, the press and seal. I knew that word did not sound right. The press and seal. I am pulling out my press and seal. I will move the extras out of the way a little bit, remove this stamp a little bit, and then I'm going to use the press and seal to pick up these die cut images in the same pattern. This works fabulous, but not on yupo paper. I have never tried this before on yupo paper. And here you can see half of them fell off. I don't remember where I had them lined up to start. So now I am trying to put them back down. This was kind of supposed to be a super fast, like 5-minute card. And really it was only like a 20-minute card with all of the nonsense and shenanigans, but it really should not have taken that long. But I was, that internal fight with my brain. I feel like in my crafty world, I am constantly fighting between my pragmatic, my symmetrical, my mathematical brain and my which is funny because I hate math. Don't shoot the messenger, but I hate math. And my more creative brain, they constantly fight. So here I have these 5 hexagons on and my sentiment, and I could just leave it and walk away, right? Oh, no, 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 I cannot, because I have 25 more hexagons sitting on my desk. It did not occur to me, hey, just make another card. Yay, 2 cards for 1. Oh, no, 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 no. I have to put all the shapes on the card. I did not end up using all of them. Thank goodness. And I did end up, when all was said and done, even after I photographed the card, removing a couple of the pieces I didn't like. I couldn't leave it alone. It was just one of those days. I decided that I needed to have them go from the bottom of one corner to the top of the next, and I was going to have to make that work. I trimmed off the pieces that were hanging out and added them on, and they don't fill up the space all the way. It doesn't look that fabulous, but I'm trying to make it work. I'm going to make it work, right? What do they say on the designer show? Tim, what's his name? Make it work, people. I'm trying to make it work, people. So at this point, I have them all on and adhered with foam tape, and I realize I have not left a big enough section for my sentiment. So I am going to have to stack stamp the sentiment. Normally, I would just cut the stamp in half, do a little stamp surgery, and call it good. But because this is I'm not stamping the words, I'm stamping the rectangle around it. I'm afraid that if I do that, I will never be able to stamp it as it was intended again, because there will be a line. So I decided I would just take a piece of tape and cover up the happy word and ink up my stamp. And then my tape wasn't on quite straight, and so it's going to have a wonky edge. So I just put a clean piece of tape over that kind of wonky taped edge. And you can see here that I'm not inking up the word birthday. I'm inking up the stamp around the word birthday, which is why I didn't feel like cutting it would be a good idea. So now that I have birthday stamped, and gratefully, because I used the Versaclear Nocturne ink, it stamped perfectly in one fell swoop. I didn't have to worry about restamping it. I can go ahead and just ink up the happy part of the stamp. Again, we'll use a little bit of painter's tape to tape off the birthday word. I am putting that packaging underneath it so that I can see exactly where to line up that tape just a little bit better. It's kind of hard to see on my black grid mat. And now that I have the happy word stamped, or inked up rather, I can stamp that onto my page. And then I can figure out where I'm going to put I took that hexagon off so that it would not interfere with the length of the stamp. And now I'm going to go ahead and put it back on. And still, this is not the asymmetrical organic pattern that I planned, but it is what it is. I did pull out a zig multiliner to kind of straighten off the block end of the birthday sentiment. It worked, gratefully. I pulled out one that was a super fine tip so that I could go over it a couple of times. I was afraid if I pulled out a thicker nib that it would be a mess. Okay, so here's where I am. I like the card. It turned out great, but it is not at all what I had in my head. Not at all. I am going to go ahead and use this yellow cardstock for the card base. I picked yellow because the majority, or the most prominent color in that alcohol ink paper was yellow and gold. And so I have a piece of yellow cardstock here, and it is scored in the middle to be a top folding US A2 portrait style card. And I'm going to use my ATG gun to tape the card panel that we created with the yupo paper and the cardstock, and tape that right to the top of my card base. So this video is short. It's not super sped up. It is slightly edited out. So it is possible to make a card in less than half an hour, at least in theory. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know in the comments below, rather, did your brain ever do that? Do you fight with yourself? Do me another favor. Have a really fabulous day. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel and watching my video. I have linked a couple other videos here for you to watch, as well as a subscribe button. If you have not done so already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. And if you know somebody who would like it, please feel free to share. Have a great day.